Ralph Lauren is one of the few designers who doesn't just design clothing, he builds worlds. He creates atmospheres. He invites us into a lifestyle where tradition is an emotional anchor and where elegance isn't just about wealth, it's about imagination and intention. And Christmas, more than any moment, is where the Ralph Lauren world comes alive. Today, we're going to break down exactly how to create a Ralph Lauren Christmas in your own life. Not by buying a house in Aspen or owning a closet full of velvet gowns, but by understanding the psychology, the mood, and the aesthetic principles behind the brand. By the end of today's video, you'll know exactly how to design your own Ralph Lauren Christmas without spending a lot, simply by understanding the world he's referencing. So, without further ado, let's dive in. So, for today's video, I want to approach the Ralph Lauren Christmas aesthetic by breaking it down into three separate archetypes. The first archetype being Ralph Lauren Ski Christmas. And the great thing about Ralph Lauren is he doesn't approach ski style like a fashion category, he approaches it like a heritage story. His ski looks are built on alpine nostalgia, athletic structure, and the comforting predictability of winter uniforms. One of the easiest ways to recreate the Ralph Lauren ski feeling is to treat your statement knit as the centerpiece. So, whether that be incorporating Fair Isle, Nordic motifs, or even a simple bold stripe, but the rule is one statement piece only. When the pattern has room to breathe, it feels intentional and luxurious. Pair that knit with a sleek base layer like a fitted turtleneck, a clean mock neck, or even a smooth thermic long sleeve. This contrast between athletic sleekness and chunky textures is exactly what makes Ralph Lauren ski style feel so refined rather than bulky. Moving on to your essential Ralph Lauren ski color palette. Ralph Lauren's ski palette is always tight and predictable: navy with cream, red with charcoal, or black with ivory. Limiting yourself to two colors and one accent shade is one of the fastest ways to make anything look expensive. Accessories follow the same logic. Instead of snow gear that leans practical but frumpy, choose pieces with clean lines. A ribbed beanie without a pom pom, wool scarves instead of fleece ones, leather gloves instead of knitted mittens, boots with subtle structure, and outerwear in matte finishes. It's not about having expensive pieces, it's about avoiding overly sporty elements that visually interrupt the elegance. A subtle trick that instantly elevates the ski aesthetic is what I call intentional stacking. Layer a thin turtleneck under a wool crew neck, then add a crisp, sleeker jacket with a higher collar. Stopping each layer at slightly different lengths creates a tiered effect that feels almost architectural. Another tip is cuffing your knit sleeves so that the sleek base layer peeks out by 1 or 2 inches. It pulls the whole look together and nods to that precision, functional alpine roots Ralph Lauren draws inspiration from. And a bonus tip to bring this home is to swap heavy snow boots for a structured all weather boot with a lug sole. It keeps the silhouette grounded and prevents the outfit from looking practical only. Now let's move into our next archetype, which is the formal holiday slash New Year's Eve inspired Ralph Lauren Christmas. What sets Ralph Lauren Glamour apart is that it never tries too hard. Instead of sequins, glitter, or shimmer heavy styling, he focuses on one elevated texture at a time. Velvet is the obvious signature. A velvet blazer, a velvet headband, or even a velvet trimmed shoe instantly communicates luxury without shouting. But the secret is to treat velvet as the accent, not the theme. Pair it with a turtleneck, a crisp shirt, or a satin skirt, and let the velvet carry the look. Tailoring is another hallmark of Ralph Lauren holiday style. Instead of a typical cocktail dress, considered structured trousers with a refined knit, a white button down tucked into a dramatic satin skirt, or a long black blazer worn over a minimal slip dress. This type of understated glamour feels inherently Ralph Lauren because it is confident and quiet. And the silhouette always matters more than the shine. Outerwear is where most people lose the Ralph Lauren holiday mood. A puffer breaks the fantasy. A short jacket disrupts the line. To stay in the RL world, go for a long wool coat or a tailored wrap coat, something that looks good closed. The coat becomes a part of the outfit, not an afterthought you discarded at the door. Add a silk scarf tucked into the neckline or a small velvet ribbon tied around the handle of your bag. These are the kind of micro details Ralph Lauren uses to create that lived in luxury feel. Another practical tip is to incorporate metallics in the most understated way possible: a gold buckle, a thin chain, or a soft satin finish. They bring light into the outfit without taking over the outfit. It's the opposite of fast fashion holiday styling. It's refined, quiet luminosity. Now we've arrived at our final archetype, the cozy cabin, countryside inspired Ralph Lauren Christmas, the one most people associate with his storytelling. This aesthetic isn't about maximal tartan or rustic overload. It's about layering earthy textures with heritage references in a way that still feels warm but still polished. Your foundation should be a well chosen knit, for example, a cable knit, a fisherman sweater, or a ribbed wool. And always keep the color palette neutral. Creams, camels, forest greens, and deep browns work particularly well here. Balance the chunkiness of the knit with a more tailored bottom, dark denim, wool trousers, or a long skirt. Leather is a grounding force of the cozy cabin aesthetic. A simple brown leather belt cinching a cardigan, tall riding boots with warm socks peeking out, or even a leather trimmed bag instantly balances the softness of the knits and tartans. Speaking of tartan, remember that Ralph Lauren uses it as a highlight, not a full theme. Instead of wearing a tartan coat or matching set, opt for a tartan scarf, a headband, a single skirt paired with neutrals, or even a tartan bow tied to secure a ponytail. These are small but evocative gestures that build the mood without overwhelming the outfit. Cohesion is key, especially when it comes to your color palette. The countryside palette leans into deep greens, rich browns, black, tan, and cream. Stick to one dark tone, one light tone, and one accent. This keeps the look sophisticated. A tip that makes everything blend seamlessly is to match your socks to your sweater or coat. It may seem small, but instantly ties your outfit together in a high fashion, editorial way. Here's another very practical tip for the cozy cabin look: embrace controlled coziness. Instead of letting your knit sleeves hang loosely, fold them once and style your gloves so they peek out deliberately. Instead of wrapping a scarf 3 times, drape it once and tuck the ends into your coat. Instead of wearing oversized scarves that swallow your torso, opt for long, narrow scarves styled intentionally. This keeps the cozy feeling but maintains structure, the key to Ralph Lauren's winter world. And one more tip: treat even the coziest outfits as if they have a lead character. Choose one focal point, a knit, boots, or scarf, and let everything else support it. This prevents you from feeling overloaded and keeps it firmly in Ralph Lauren territory. The beautiful thing about a Ralph Lauren Christmas isn't that you're chasing perfection, it's about choosing intentionality. When you look closely at his world, whether it's an alpine lodge, a candlelit holiday dinner, or a quiet countryside home, you start to see the same pattern. Nothing is loud, nothing is trendy, nothing is rushed. Everything is considered, has a purpose, and that's what makes it feel luxurious. You don't need a massive wardrobe or designer pieces to create that same feeling in your own life. All you need is to slow down and choose with clarity. Choose a knit that feels good in your hands before it looks good in the mirror. Choose a color palette you want to return to again and again. Choose silhouettes that make you feel grounded, not overwhelmed. Choose accessories that don't compete, but complete. And more importantly, choose to edit. Ralph Lauren's style works because of restraint, because something is left out, because the outfit has room to breathe. That's the part people often skip. But once you embrace it, the entire aesthetic suddenly becomes effortless. When you refine instead of multiply, your outfits gain presence. When your colors align, your look feels thoughtful. When your textures complement each other, the entire outfit reads as intentional luxury. The real magic happens when you stop trying to look Ralph Lauren, quote unquote, and start dressing with the principles he builds his world on: heritage, harmony, warmth, discipline, and storytelling. Do that, and even the simplest outfit transforms. A cable knit sweater becomes a character, a velvet ribbon becomes a statement, a well loved coat becomes a signature. You'll start to recognize that luxury isn't the price tag, it's the clarity. And maybe that's the most inspiring part, because a Ralph Lauren Christmas isn't about replicating pictures from a catalog. It's about creating your own holiday narrative with the pieces you already own, the textures you're drawn to, and the life you actually live. You can feel elegant in a thrifted sweater if the styling is intentional. You can feel glamorous in a minimal outfit if the silhouette is strong. You can feel festive in a subtle accessory if the palette is considered. So, as you put together your holiday looks this year, don't chase an aesthetic, build one. Build a version of Ralph Lauren's world that fits your home, your budget, and your personality. Let your outfit tell a story of comfort, heritage, and ease, and understated celebration. And remember, the less you complicate, the more refined it becomes. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which version of Ralph Lauren holiday are you stepping into this season? And which styling principles are you bringing with you? Thank you so much for watching and sticking around for the entire video. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!